Hi, Jean-Philippe.
Hi.
Nice to see you here.
Thank you.
So, how do you like the conference so far?
I think it was an amazing conference, actually. I was here last year at the Network State Meetup, and it was this tiny sort of co-working space in a Chinatown, Singapore's Chinatown. We were all like that, going, "Oh, Balaji, come on! You could have taken a bigger room." And look at it today. I mean, this is like a pop-up village. I'm yeah, truly amazed. Love it.
Wonderful. What is the network state to you actually? People are talking about network states, private cities, charter cities, pop-up villages, intentional communities, new countries. What are all these things to you?
For me, it's a natural extension to what a community is. And I like Balaji's vision about, projecting yourself where you could be a citizen of that state. It's one day issue passports, right? Um, I really resonate with that. Is we are governed by a state and we have to kind of follow rules, etc. But more often than not, we realize that the alignment is not 100% with what we believe and want. And so I think the internet has created these sort of boom of, we look at the nomads, all these kids going around the world with their laptops to work from different locations and coordinate and aggregate together according to their passions and interests and everything. So I think this is the natural evolution of what we are going through with the internet revolution.
Continuing with this, what is your personal connection to this ecosystem? I mean, what have you been up to? What projects have you been working on? I mean, that is related to the network state.
So I mean, one of the big let's abstract network states for a second and look at what the problems are with normal states, right? The cost of aging for a government is a massive problem today. I mean, obesity alone is like America and China, actually the one and second in the largest number of obese people. The cost of aging, the pyramid of population, because fertility rates are down, and we're actually on track to contract human population. Um, the cost of aging is massive for government, and many countries, Japan, India, I'm not going to enumerate them all, but many countries are actually facing a real crisis. Okay, so if I was going to start a network state, now back to our conversation, one of the things I would really want to make sure is that I would address longevity, right? And that's why we had in the conference people like Brian Johnson, and that longevity has been long, a real component of Zuzelu. When Vitalik launched the first Zuzelu, longevity was a big part of it. But we haven't really nailed, there's like flavors of longevity. Yeah, people are more about, the Peter Attia crowd, the health span, um, or the other more radical crowd to which I belong, who believes that aging can be defeated, is no longer a fatality, and we can actually achieve one day potentially immortality. I know a lot of people are going to go, "Oh my God, no, I don't want that," and that's what Brian was saying on stage just before. We want to die. There's a whole culture around dying. It's like we're programmed. Um, I want to push the longevity angle, and if I would, I actually would go all the way to saying that this is the next gold rush. Longevity is the next gold rush. So if I have to compare, what we are building at the Symbiotic Foundation is the pickaxes and the buckets of the longevity gold rush. So we're literally wanting to empower people with tools. If you look at today's platform economies, the way they treat health data, they want to hold all your data. Google, Apple, Garmin, Fitbit,
Mhm.
and no offense to them, that is the model.
Yeah.
So it's not a criticism. They've done very well, and we've kind of gone through that phase. and we've gone to where we are now. Now, I think we need another model. We are in a situation where we're in the sick care economy. So you're born, you are super healthy, hopefully, but health has no value there almost. We throw money at you when you're about to die. When you're, and Peter Thayer puts it very well, you're like the last 10 years of your life often spent in illness, which is why it's a big cost burden. And so we throw a lot of money just to get you another year or another month of life. This is time that we turn this around and put the money to keep people healthy. And we don't have to face this big burden of cost. The problem with that is that I believe the platform economies that we have today are not fit for purpose. So now, how do we solve this? How do we turn this around and say we can actually crowdsource the data at the ground up, make people be the economic actor of their own health, own and control their own data? Think about people walking around with their own data lake of their own data. What can you do with that? Well, first thing, we never have all the data in one place today. It's with my doctor, it's with my hospital, it's with my Fitbit, it's with my, I'm saying Fitbit voluntarily, it's kind of an old brand now, but it's with my wearable. It's never aggregated all together. It's very rarely. And so that means we don't understand what happens. In medicine, we're working on that as well. The metabolic system. Fantastic, beautiful map of all the chemical pathways in the body. We know the map. We know all the pathways. We actually don't know why in some people, some pathways are expressed more than others, and other people, the pathways are expressed less than others. And so we are basically just observing. And say, this is going on. And we don't have all the data to actually be able to build a model that will accurately predict what is going to happen if you do this. More importantly, if you look at a health advice online or whatever, it's always a blanket advice. And always a fad. Even doctors against doctors. And when we want to measure something, we do a clinical trial. Well, we did this intervention. This group received it. This group was the control group. They didn't receive the intervention. So we saw, but we always look at a window in time. We never look at, this is the profile of the people. They've gone through all this during their life. They did this, they did that. And all these exterior factors actually sometimes matter a lot. So our vision is that we can become the biggest biobank of crowdsourced data voluntarily, the ground up, by everyone carrying a cell phone or a wearable device. And this is a vision that the incumbents have already. I mean, there's just talking to someone about an insurance company having this kind of project. The problem I have with that is the user is not at the center of that model. The insurance company, bless their soul, just wants to de-risk their model. And the next step from that, obviously, is either your premiums go up or, sorry, sir, you're not a very good cash cow. We're now not going to be able to cover you anymore. I don't want that world. I want a world where you are in control and ownership of your data, and where you can decide who you want to share it with or participate in particular research and get paid for it, including with a success fee if this data has been used in a medical discovery that ended up in a drug going to market. Now, all this is doing is we're helping people with some gamification mechanism take control of their health. When I say gamification, I don't mean casino. I'm in motivation, behavioral psychology. Um, we fail all the time as human to follow the right advice. I know I fail all the time. And I'm the yo-yo guy. I lose 30 kilo, take it back, lose 30 kilo, take it back. And I'm struggling with metabolic syndrome. I know exactly what my problems are. I'm doing my best to put all the data in one place and try to understand how to beat my biology into shape. And I think I will manage. And if I can crack it for myself and crack it for other people along the way, all the merrier. This has to be a collaborative effort. So what we build is Linux for Health. It's an ecosystem, open source, where people can build their health app. What this achieves is a funnel. And the crypto stack is only there for one thing, because it allows you to create that macroeconomic system where you can incentivize behaviors, and it's got that traceability. But it also has all the encryption tools, the computer over data tools that allow you to maintain this conundrum of having verifiability and being able to be public on chain, but also have the privacy of my data. We can separate the identity, we can separate the data, we can reduce the attack surface. If you open an NFT, you might have a bit of heart rate data with a time series, but you're not going to access the whole record of that person. So the attack surface is much smaller. And I think if we can do this, collaborate with other startups building, I don't know, nutrition, mental health, with wearables or without wearables, maybe a clinical trial app. Right now, we're trying to find the right startups who want to build this stuff so we can build their cool start, problem and come to market with a full solution. We're doing a lot of trials. We're building our POC around AI, traversing your data. We're running a local model on edge that sees your data, does federated learning with a central platform, but doesn't see the data. The Apple model, similar. It's funny because I actually wrote that architecture before Apple announced it. And when they announced it, I was like, that's my architecture. But I guess we listen to the same people and we're just following the same moves. That's the edge. Yes.
My question now should be about the technology and social development. Like, the human history shows that tech develops, but social strata doesn't. So basically, you create an AI, you create, I don't know, IoT, you create this, that, you go to space or whatever. But still, socially, universally, humans are not ready to absorb it. How do you see this longevity project? Like, I mean, like you said, it should be like a gold rush, right? So how do you see this social problem? How the humans would regulate it? Like, I mean, how they will be ready to accept it? And I'm not talking just about the developed world, as I mean, in the West, it is accepted to call, right? I mean, developed world, developing world, now they call global South or emerging market or whatever, right? Because in many countries in the world, especially in the third world, if we allow to call it that way, it's a bit rude comment, right? But still, I mean, we understand what we are talking about, like the ones who were colonized before. I mean, people are having like daily problems and substantial problems, right? So how do you see it entering into their life, actual life? How do you see that problem, that bridging that gap?
Yes, absolutely. So, two things in what you said. First of all, social is very important, and actually we have a social layer in our ecosystem, because someone building an app on it will want to be able to connect their friends there, because there is a social accountability component to that sort of health intervention, right? There's a financial being able to afford preventive care. There's a financial component to it. There's a social accountability component to it. But put that aside. When you look at, I think biology is the best example of how things propagate. Cross pollination, and then development. Like you have suddenly a little node, and then it grows, and then suddenly the whole town is ill. You know, so like viral sort of propagation and cross pollination. So the network state approach is exactly that. We're opening pop-up cities everywhere, and we have a small community, and then they suddenly sort of virally grow, then reach critical mass. People will hear about it, they want to join. That's a sort of biological model of organic growth, which really much appeals to me. So I think in our process also it's like that. It's like you start sometimes with a few ambassadors, B2B sort of thing, people who are hardcore hardliners in longevity. They really want to biohack themselves. They really want to understand their body better, etc. They are the ones who need the tools first, and then slowly, that cross-pollinates to a wider crowd. And actually, the company and the businesses always have to reinvent themselves at every phase, because you don't address the core early adopter the same way you address it's the crossing the chasm, very classic marketing, discourse. But you don't address those different crowds the same way, but you have to pivot and sort of mutate into that new company that can then scale bigger.
Awesome. The last question: what is your message to the people who are building something within this ecosystem?
Those who are building into the ecosystem, join us. Why? Because right now the pressures around us by the incumbents who are building, they've seen that already, right? They know AI is going to change the world. They're already integrating all that, and they're coming for us. They're coming for your data. So right now you have a choice. You can say, and I hear this every day, I don't agree, but I hear it every day, it's too late. Can't do it anymore. It's too late. You get scanned your face at the airport. All these things are happening. AI knows everything about you. Social media already has all the data. You were wrong posting all these things on Facebook. There is no escaping the bulldozer of the death of your privacy or something like that, right? Surrender. It's for your benefit. We're going to help you. Benevolent state. Or you sit there and you say, no, sorry, I don't believe in the benevolent state, or maybe I do, but with caution. And so I believe in another model. I want to take control and ownership of my data. And for those builders to come and build, you don't need to reinvent the wheel with the back end. Build your app. Compete. Whoever has the best app win. That's right. But in the back end, the compute layer, the social layer, the privacy layer, all this that funnels the data back to the user, where they have their health wallet and they can control who they share the data with and monetize and get rewarded for the data, take control of their journey. That should be one. We should collaborate. If we don't collaborate right now, we're going to be too small and we're going to get crushed, and it's going to be a lost battle.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe. Thanks a lot and good luck.
Thank you so much.